Hey guys, this is Red and Blue, your channel on YouTube for all things PSG in English. Please subscribe. Today, let's debrief yesterday's game, PSG's last-minute win against OGC Nice. 1-0 at home in the Parc des Princes, 94th minute goal by your super sub Gonzalo Ramos. And let's jump straight in because I don't think there's a lot to talk about on this game, to be honest. First things first. Nice, I had said so in my preview, I knew it was coming, the writing was on the wall, and yet, as always, with this team, I'm sorry, I've been looking around and listening to stuff and essentially getting a sense of what people are talking about when it comes to this game. There's two schools of thoughts. There's, quite a few people who say, Nice is playing their game as they're perfectly right to do. They're playing defense, it's their stuff, and if not for a last minute goal, they would have gone away with it, and they would have gotten 1 point from this PSG game, which was a lot more than a lot of people will get. And ultimately, they have a lot of players who are missing, who are injured. So they're doing what they can and what they want, and this is it. And we should respect that. Which I kind of hear, and at the same time, personally, I'm more partial to the other folks who are saying, entirely fair to come park the bus in the Parc des Princes all you want. But in this case, you're Nice, you're fifth in Ligue 1 last season, you're qualified in Europe, you've got one of the biggest budgets in France. You're not you're not Auxerre or Metz or Lorient who are fighting desperately to survive. You're, Nice ultimately, there's literally no chance of them getting relegated or anything like this. Yes, they're fighting for European spot. But they should be showing more. They've got a big team, they've got some big names, they've got a big coach, and it's just extremely disappointing. To see a European qualified team behave like this. It's not it doesn't do good to French football. It gives us a game which was frankly not the most interesting that we've ever seen. And yeah, it's just I don't know, everyone can play however they want to play this game, and ultimately, that's the beauty of it. But if I'm a Nice supporter or a Nice player, I can't imagine that at 8 p.m. or whatever time the game ended yesterday, anyone would have felt good about it. And it doesn't all come down to the result, because there is a way of losing and still holding your head up high. So yes, if the game had ended 2 minutes before, maybe they would have felt fantastic about it. But ultimately, the 94th minute happened, and in the end, it's a completely wasted evening for Nice. They didn't try anything, they didn't work on anything, they didn't create anything. They lost a football game. They didn't get any points out of it. The only thing that they got are sore legs and some regrets. And I'm sorry, but at a time where we're struggling to sell French football, to really sell TV rights, interest people, push French football beyond our border, combat this cliche of a farmers league or whatever it might be, or a weeks league, or a league that might be ultimately weaker than Portugal or the Netherlands and so on. Nice yesterday is not helping us make that case. They're just not helping us make that case. So yeah, maybe they could have won for their own little interest. Ultimately, it didn't, and I'm super happy about it, because ultimately, football won. I'm sorry, football won. You can say all you want about the PSG team yesterday and what they did right and what they didn't do right, but I don't think anyone can stand up and say that if this game was going to end up with a winner, it shouldn't be PSG. Simple as. They're basically the only team that came on the pitch to play football. So at some point, yeah, you could have scored 1 point like this. The dark arts are powerful, and that's we see it every year with the Diego Simeones of the world. Not that Frank Case is anywhere close to it, But yeah, you come to Parc des Princes, you park like 6 guys in a line of 6 in defense. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Like, if you want to play rugby and have lines of 6, go play rugby. Like, don't bother us. Like, what are you doing here? If you don't want to play football, don't play football. Like, simple as. Like, just yeah. And it's not a one-off either, because the past 3 games of Lille were the same things. They completely like give away possessions. They don't care. They sit at the back, and yeah, like they can score on a counter. Like, fantastic, good for them. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, I'd be super curious to hear like what the ultras think about it, because like, God knows in PSG, we've had our years of bad results, and whether that was like in the 2000s where we were really struggling, sometimes coming really close to getting relegated, and in general like really not producing. But I've never seen, even in our darkest moment, a PSG team that would completely refuse to play like this. And yeah, like even the seasons where we're borderline relegated and we're playing against an ultra dominant Lyon or clubs like this, never. And if we had like, even if you gain a point, like, I'm sorry, like, can we imagine like if Nice had won a point yesterday, they would have gotten the draw? Would they really be telling us today like, oh, like, oh, we're so great and like we're feeling so good about it? No, like, I mean, I would hope not. Like, maybe they would, but that's just sad. So yeah, like, I'm like, I don't know. Like, let me know what you guys think, because like honestly, I'm curious, and like I hear that there's 2 opinions, and I can understand that. But in this case, I really think that like, yeah, you cannot. You just like at some point you cannot, when you're a club this big with a fan base this large, with a history, with great players, great managers, and so on, and you're playing in Europe, and the president is part of the league, like their direction committee or whatever it is. No, I'm sorry, you cannot. Like, just not possible. Like, you've got to do something on the pitch. And so yesterday, like, Nice was a crime against football, simple as. When it comes to PSG, though, because let's talk about this as well. I think similar. Like, I'm hearing 2 things. I'm hearing like very fair criticism of the fact that it took us so long to break down this Nice team and score a goal, and that for so much of the game we looked a bit slow, a bit flat, a bit unimaginative, a bit like not able to accelerate. I completely hear that. At the same time, I'll go back to it. Like, we're playing a team that playing like they're literally playing a 6-3-1, and all of it within like 25 meters of their own goal. Even if you go back and look at the Barca of Guardiola and Messi and Iniesta and Xavi, like they also had games where they didn't manage to break down like blocks like this. If you go down even further, like the glorious Ajax, I don't even know all of the legendary team, like Milan from Saki, that was a defensive team in itself. Like, every team has games where they don't manage to make it happen against teams who play like this, and this is why teams still try to do things like this. So it's hard to say like, put the blame on PSG and reproach of them. Yes, like ultimately, like I wish we had scored 3 goals. I wish we had scored the first one on the 5th minute and just made the game like very easy for ourselves. Ultimately, it didn't happen. I think like if I compare though, like, because I like coming out of the Lorient game, I think there was a very fair case to play that we didn't put enough in the game to get the results. And I think that argument, even if we had gotten only a draw, I would have had a hard time making it for this Nice game. Because I think, like, progressively we amped up the pressure. Yes, the first 30 minutes weren't like the most fascinating ever, and we didn't create a lot of chances. But the second half was very serious, and we did produce. And the last, like, 15-20 minutes, from the point where Ruiz and Dembele come on the pitch, I'm sorry, but we're thoroughly dominating. We get like 3-4 big chances. And yeah, we put in the ingredients to get the win. Sometimes it's not enough. Sometimes the ball just doesn't go in. Sometimes you get a goalkeeper ahead of you that's in like the game of his life. Sometimes you get a defense that gets lucky and always gets the block. Like ultimately, that was almost the case yesterday, but it wasn't. And I think we knew, and I had said it in the preview. We knew it was a perfect trap coming. It was a perfect trap coming. We almost fell into it. Ultimately, we managed to get the win at the 94th minute. It's kind of the only thing that matters to me, to be honest. Because like you can't play a great game of football if you're only one team that's willing to play football. Simple as that. And so like you can reproach PSG all you want. It's impossible for them to turn up like a major performance when the other team is just not willing to play. It's simple as that. And so, I think we got the win, and that's the only thing that matters. In terms of performance, though, like, I think the fact that we didn't create as much in the first half as in the second half, I'm starting, like, I keep wondering throughout this season, honestly, it's always something that's on my mind, how, like, the non-holidays that we had in the summer and the no summer prep is having an influence on our games. I really do wonder if us taking longer to get in our games and put intensity in our games is a factor of that. Obviously, there's also a question of the opponent getting tired, us like bringing in some subs who are really first-year players. So there's a lot of question marks around this. But yeah, I do wonder if us being a little bit of a diesel team and so really needing 20, 30 minutes to really get stuck into our game might be also a consequence of the summers that we've had. Entirely possible in my mind. And so, yeah, something to keep in mind as well. Tactically, I don't think a lot of things to note on this one, honestly. Return of a back four / a back two with our two wingers. It's actually interesting because I think like the defense right now, and for like since the beginning of the season, this is clearly the area where Luis Enrique is tinkering the most from a tactical standpoint. We've seen it, the back three, like it plays differently and so on. And in this game, it's funny because we kind of revert back to what we had at the end of last year. And how we got beat against Chelsea like so bad in the final of the Club World Cup, which is we have our two central defenders, and when our two fullback move forward, then we have our number 6 or one of our midfielder drops back on the left and becomes that third central defender on the left. And so you see Vitinha slipping into that position a lot yesterday to the left of Pacho and kind of organizing the game from there. And then like you see either Warren Zaire-Emery or Ruiz later on in the game do that as well. And if you remember, like Ruiz being too tired to actually like do this move of slipping in back into the defense, it's actually why there was so much space for Chelsea to beat us in the Club World Cup final. And so yesterday we kind of fall back into this organization. It works quite well and it opens up opportunities for our fullbacks to go forward. I don't think either one of them really made the most out of the opportunity. I don't think either one of them really turned up their best game of the season or anywhere close to that. So it is what it is, but yeah, tactically it looked a lot that a return to form, and I think like it shows that probably shows that this wasn't a game that we were willing to take chances on. And Luis Enrique didn't want to experiment with this one. The starting 11 that we have is as close to a starting 11 as we've had this season. And so this was really like us getting into it. And maybe that also explains the diesel bit, because all of those players, it's been a while since they played together in this shape, so it takes them a while to find their legs. We got it in the end, and that's all that matters. Tops and flops, gonna go pretty quickly. I think Gonzalo Ramos, like as always, super sub, great when he comes in, horrible when he starts. Who knows what's going on with this guy? But like very thankful for the goal. And I think he has a couple of other chances as well. So overall, a pretty good performance for him. Other top, Kvara, which is amazing because honestly, like the games that he had been turning up in Ligue 1 were borderline embarrassing, if I'm honest. It's like the guy only turns up for Champions League game. He doesn't care about Ligue 1, and it was kind of becoming very, very obvious. Yesterday, he really put in a performance from the right, dropping back to the left as a secondary 9 as well. Really like radiated throughout the attack. And so great performance and great to see ahead of Bayern Munich. And I really hope he's going to turn up this kind of performance against Munich as well. And then apart from this, like Vitinha in midfield did really well as usual. Warren was pretty good as well. I think all of the other players, were okay. The only ones that I criticize a little bit, if I'm honest, Barcola missing that big chance in the first half. Like, man, like you're a big player. Like, we want to see more from you. Like, when you need to contribute more in the game. When you compare with Kvara, for example, like the amount of impact that Barcola brought into the game was just 1 notch down or 2 notch down. And then the finishing. We go back to this, the finishing, man. Like, low block, can't miss chances like this, can't like shoot on the keeper. You've got to do something. I don't care. Like, yeah, it's just like, it's got to do better. And we've seen it time and time again. We don't really have like that many other options, but yeah, be careful. And then second one, Mayulu, I felt was like didn't really like contribute that much, didn't have the best of game. Very hard for him with such a tight like blocky defense. But yeah, like didn't have the best of game. It's a bit worrisome because apparently Dembele is still having a lot of pain to his thigh. So it's, in my mind, pretty doubtful that he would start the Bayern Munich game. And so we're very, very likely to see Mayulu on the pitch against Bayern. And he would have to turn up a way better performance for this one, for sure. So anyway, Ramos time, this is what we had for you guys on this one. We get the win, we get 1-0, that's all I care about. Nice can go back to their cave and you know, like practice their dark arts a little bit further. For now, we sit on top of Ligue 1, 2 points ahead of Marseille, and we move into the big game. And that's really, really exciting. The game against Bayern Munich on Tuesday night, French night. So we're gonna have a lot of fun with this one, and I think we're gonna start talking about it very, very quickly. I've got some good stuff planned for you guys, so stay tuned. Please subscribe to the channel to see all of it. Hit the bell button to get notified. Hit the like on this video to really reward us getting the best of this crime against the football team. And yeah, leave in the comment what you felt about the game and how you saw it, and like what was your takeaway from it. And don't forget, Ramos time or Fergie time or whatever it might be. Ici c'est Paris.